Not everything is spiritual warfare. Now, don't get me wrong, I totally believe in spiritual warfare. It happens to me all the time. I'm constantly fighting it off. But I think sometimes we use that term to explain things that are actually consequences. Sometimes the business isn't struggling because the enemy is attacking. Sometimes it's struggling because we've avoided the hard conversations. We have failed to execute or we haven't addressed weaknesses. Sometimes the marriage isn't suffering because Satan has gotten a foothold in. Sometimes it's suffering because resentment went unchecked. Communication stopped, intimacy stopped. Small compromises accumulated over time. Sometimes the financial pressure isn't an attack. It is years of undisciplined decisions. And sometimes what feels like God's silence is God actually allowing us to experience the outcomes, the consequences from our decisions and those choices that we have been unwilling to confront. One of the things I've learned is that business exposes character. Marriage exposes character. Leadership exposes character. Parenting exposes character. Pressure has a way of revealing what comfort allows us to hide. And that's not always punishment. Sometimes it is mercy because God actually loves us enough to reveal what needs to change. Galatians tells us that we reap what we sow. And Proverbs also says something really uncomfortable. When a man's folly brings his way to ruin, his heart rages against the Lord. In other words, sometimes we're angry at God for consequences we created ourselves. Spiritual warfare is definitely real, but so are consequences from our decisions. And wisdom is knowing the difference, right? So before asking, why is this happening to me? Maybe ask, what is this trying to teach me? What do you think it's trying to teach you? Nothing. That's not a good answer.